when you think of Mario sports games, you think of stuff like Mario Tennis Aces, Mario Golf World Tour, Golf Super Rush, you know, you got your Mario Strikers Battle League, you got stuff like that. You know, you think of those big sports games like Super Sluggers, like the list goes on, but there's one game that has been denied, or one, I guess, sport that has been denied a new Mario sports type game for quite a long time, and I really hate that it's we're getting to this point because I really would love to see it have a resurgence. And that game is Mario Hoops 3-on-3. Mario Hoops 3-on-3 was released in 2006, and outside North America, it was actually called Mario Slam Basketball. But, you know, since it's North America and most of you probably are watching Americans, we're just going to call it Hoops 3-on-3. But we're just going to probably shorten it to 3-on-3 for short. So this was the first major actual Mario basketball game, unless you want to count the Mario Sports Mix, but I don't really count that. But this game came out first before that anyway. Technically, you could play as Mario, Luigi, and I think Peach in an NBA game on the GameCube. But that doesn't really count as like a Mario game because, like, you know, it was just a guest appearance on like a specific console. Kind of like how you can't really count, you know, Link appearing in Soul Calibur 2 as a playable character. You know, can't really count that as a new Legend of Zelda game, can you? So this game was really like niche, I want to say. It definitely was the one that was like the least remembered out of the Mario sports games, I'd like to say.
I just figured everyone forgot about me.
Because, you know, like whenever people think of Mario sports games, they're like, oh, my favorite was Mario Golf, or my favorite was Tennis. Like, Tennis was definitely like their major one, outside of maybe Mario Strikers, aka soccer. But Battle League, I don't think is even really even that you know, active anymore, unfortunately.
Surprised I am the villain in every story.
Because I mean, I liked Battle League personally, but that's the topic for another day. But yeah, Hoops 3-on-3 is definitely by far the most underrated in my opinion, and it has yet to get a new game to follow up on it since the original came out in 2006, which is crazy to me because I really enjoyed playing it when it first came out. I actually bought it twice. I bought it once whenever it first came out, and then I bought it again like I think like 10 years later because I wanted to play it again. And then I think I still have the original copy somewhere. If not, I think I'm gonna give it away to a friend, and they never gave it back because they said they could borrow it, but you know, that's a topic for another time. So Mario Hoops 3-on-3, since it was also a DS game, fun fact, it was only on the DS, it used the stylus and the touchpad as like almost the main focus of everything, like shooting, dribbling, all that stuff you use the touchpad for. You moved with the D-pad, and there were some button inputs here and there, but majority of the stuff that you were doing was always with the stylus, because that's what you use for mainly anything on the DS. That's like the whole selling point of it. So it was kind of nice, I will admit, but I will also say that it definitely cost my DS a very scratchy screen. I think a lot of people who play a lot of like rubbing intense games like Pokemon Ranger and stuff like that will probably also get what I mean when they say that rubbing down on the touchscreen. Well, yeah, the touchscreens were built different. They weren't exactly built tough either. So, you know, those scratches still appeared every now and then. Granted, if you play it on something like the 3DS, maybe it won't be as bad, but those old DSs were not built for that type of stuff. Yet they put it in every single game. Granted, maybe it was just a case of like, you know, our younger selves not knowing how to take care of our shit and just like rubbing down as hard as you can, even though you don't have to do that. But, you know, those stylus weren't exactly super soft either. Like, I honestly think those stylus you could fucking stab a person with them. This game was actually developed by Square Enix, but it was published by Nintendo. Fun fact. So technically, this isn't a game that was made by Nintendo. It was developed by Square Enix. So that begs the question of how much of that involvement does Square Enix have? Well, as of right now, well, I say as of right now, the game's like almost 20 years old, but like as I can see, the Mario characters in the game are Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, Yoshi, Toad, Wario, and Waluigi. And to sort of kind of, I guess, put in the narrative that Final Fantasy or Square Enix was involved in it. They put in some Final Fantasy characters. Granted, these are not like all actual characters. They don't have like, you're not going to be seeing Cloud from Final Fantasy 7, you know, performing a dunk on Peach or something like that. It's only just generic characters. So they got Ninja,
The fuck you say to me, you little shit?
Black Mage, White Mage, Moogle, and Cactuar. I really hope I'm pronouncing that right. So yeah, these are just like kind of like the crossover characters, I guess you could say. But the game was made by Square Enix, so it makes sense that they'd have some of their own characters in it, even if they're just generic versions of like classes and then a couple of mobs, you know. But still, I think it's really nice to have them. I personally was a Black Mage and Ninja player. I think my lineup was Black Mage, Ninja, Yoshi. Because I'm a basic person like that. I don't really know what the meta was per se, but I always felt like Black Mage was pretty good, even though like I don't think the stats really matter that much, because obviously there was your generic types like this character was good at this thing or this character was good at that thing. But honestly, I think when it comes to those stat-based games like the like power, speed, or whatever the hell, those things don't really matter too much. Really, the only thing that mattered to me was the special shot. I was so excited yapping about all the special shot stuff that I kind of forgot to go over the actual other mechanics of the game. So the general rules to go by is that you get the ball and you dribble on the little block spaces and it gives you coins, and the more coins you get, the higher your score is once you actually make a successful, you know, ball in basket. I don't really know how to call it, but you can either get your ball into there by three ways, one of which we already talked about, which is special shot. The second being the standard 3-point or free throw. You know, you can either do a regular throw or a charge throw. I don't really think that the regular throw or charge throw give you any points. I think that the charge throw is just more of a straight arc rather than being like a bit more wobbly. So if you charge the ball before you shoot it, then it'll be a little bit more accurate. But the other way, obviously, is the dunk. And if you dunk, you can either do two dunks, either a regular dunk where you just run up and just jump off and slam the ball down and it deposits all of your coins and whatnot, and or you can do the better way, which is a charge dunk, which is basically the same thing as a regular dunk, but instead of just dunking, you can do the dunk input again, and you can sit there and rope the stick
The best part.
of the stylus back and forth and get extra coins and extra stuff just to get even more points out of the score. Obviously, this comes with a risk of getting hit out of it, but most of the time the AI don't even really stop you from doing it. But if you do get one, you can get a lot of extra points for it, and it's actually quite good. So that's usually how I get all of my points. Apparently, you can also do what's called a rebound dunk, which is basically just an alley-oop, but I honestly never really got that trigger, so I wish I had a clip for it, but I don't. And also, if you don't have the ball, there are a couple things you can do. You can steal the ball, which is by just smacking the ball out of their hand, obviously. And you can jump, and if you jump, you can block the ball if they try to shoot it with the free throw. And if you really want, you can jump up and do a little dunk input while you're jumping, and you can spin around and hit someone out of a dunking animation. Or if you jump up and swipe down, you can do a butt slam, or Mario's kind of classic butt slam. Or if you're like a Final Fantasy character, you do like a little magic AoE underneath you. But either way, you know, it's just a couple ways to get the ball out of their hands, and honestly, it's like pretty in-depth offense and defense for both sides. And of course, there's also items, and because it wouldn't be a complete Mario game without items, because the same question mark panels, you can, if you don't have a ball, you can get an item from it, ranging from obviously the classic green shell, red shell, blue shell, bomb, to lightning, starman, poison mushroom, regular mushroom. I'm not going to get into the specifics of what each item does, but generally speaking, if you don't have a ball, you can get an item. But if you do have the ball, then if you pick up an item with the ball in your hand, you just get an extra coin. You don't get a lot of extra coins, you just get a coin. So you can only use items if you don't have the ball in your hand. But you can use starman's, lightning, mushrooms, and poison mushrooms if you do have the ball. But any other item like a red shell or green shell or bomb, you cannot, obviously you can't carry that while carrying the ball, so you just get a coin instead. Alright, and back to me. And special shots are like kind of like the unique gimmick of any sort of Mario Sports game. Any Mario Sports game you can think of has a special shot mechanic in it. Mario Super Sluggers, Mario Strikers Battle League, Mario Tennis, like any sort of Mario sports game will have a super shot. It's almost a guarantee at this point. Same with the Mario and Sonic Olympic games; those also have special shots type stuff. But and the Mario sports games, that was basically like a staple. Like if they didn't have a special shot mechanic, then it wouldn't be a Mario sports game. It'd just be a sports game with Mario characters in it. Which honestly, that's fair that they would do that kind of stuff, because the whole special shot thing kind of made the game more, like, I guess, interesting for people to want to play it. But what's nice about the special shots is that they actually kind of differed a little bit depending on which character you played. Every special shot was super unique. Most of them kind of worked differently, but all of them had different properties. Like, say for example, when it comes to Black Mages, his is a special shot that it's a very complex pattern. Every character has a certain pattern. Black Mages, I think, is a star, so like a star pattern, but so is White Mage, but I think Black Mages is like upside down, like a pentagram, but I don't remember exactly. I'll probably put it up on screen so you guys can actually see. But yeah, you had to do that little dribble input that you see on screen, and you had to do it, I think, twice, and then activate the special shot, and then after that they send out the ball and do their thing. It can still be blocked, I will say. I don't think Black Mages can be blocked, however, because with Black Mages, they kind of shoot the ball into the air, then they crash it down into the hoop. It's really cool, honestly. Like, I think that the special shots are actually really well designed, and I honestly think that if they ever did make a Switch 2 version of this game, or just a Switch version in general, that it would probably be way cooler to look at. But as of right now, it's just going to be a generic thing. But it is what it is. You can only do so much with it. Either way, when it comes to the special shots, like I said, they are all unique in a little bit in one way or the other, but most of the time they are just a guaranteed way to get a goal. So most of the time, if you do a special shot, there's no chance that you can ever actually lose to anything. Yeah, if with a perfectly timed attack, I guess, I don't know what to call it, a block spin, whatever the hell this is, you can interrupt some special shots when they are still holding the ball and they're like dunking themselves. But most often than not, you're most likely just going to get knocked out of the air and they'll just get it for free. That's kind of how that goes, which is kind of fair, because doing a special shot mid-game is a little bit hard, especially if you're playing against real people. But since you're playing against AI most of the time, since I don't think anyone is going to be able to play with you, unfortunately, unless you somehow manage to get someone with a copy of Mario Hoops 3 IRL next to you, which is very hard. But most of the time you're going to be playing against bots, so you won't really be able to actually get interrupted. There will be times when they will stop you. Most of the time, as long as you're a good distance away from anybody and you can do the input fast enough, then you most likely can get special shot as many times as you want. So I can't say it's practical, because I don't think you get extra points for it or anything, but it's still nice to do because they think they look cool. Not all of them are made similarly, but I mean, I could go. Maybe I'll make a special shot tier list or something at that point. But as of right now, I just wanted to talk about Mario Hoops. So, Mario Hoops 3-on-3. Why is this game still not getting a Switch 2 version, or just an updated version of any time? Because they have not made a Mario basketball game, a dedicated Mario basketball game, since this game. This is the last and only game outside of, I guess, if you want to count the NBA crossover game on GameCube, that's really the only other time that they're ever a playable character. But that's not really a Mario game, because this just guest appearances. But in terms of a dedicated actual basketball game, this is the only game that exists of that type. Yet, still, I think this game deserves one. I think it needs one. And it's really criminal to me that, like, they went through every single other Mario sports game, and the tennis game is getting another one, because they're making another one for Switch 2, another Mario tennis game. They really, really fucking love tennis. I don't know why, but like, still, we got Battle League, we got what was it? We got Battle League, we got, again, tennis, we got golf, even, which I think I don't really know how many people actually care about golf, but apparently there's enough for them to make another game for it. Granted, baseball hasn't gotten another one either. There hasn't been a new Mario baseball game in a hot minute either, but they still got more games in general. I think like Mario Baseball got like a lot more games as opposed to Mario Hoops, because Mario Hoops, again, it only has one, but I think Mario baseball as I can remember. Yeah, Mario has two baseball games. It has Superstar Baseball and Super Sluggers. So that's two games that they have. And not to mention that they re-released it on the Wii U Virtual Console as well. So not only could you play Super Sluggers on the Wii, you could also play on the Wii U with via Virtual Console. So yeah, Mario Hoops is still by far the one that has the least amount of representation. So yeah, that's cool. So where am I going with this? Well, I propose that if they do end up making another Mario Hoops game for the Switch, I know that the whole thing with Mario Hoops is that you play with the stylus, you special shots with the stylus, all that good stuff. But I think that they could still find a way to incorporate it into the Switch 2's ecosystem without having to ruin the identity too much. Like, I don't know, maybe use the Joy-Con to dribble instead and make it like some sort of like realistic type stuff, or maybe try to figure out a way to integrate the mouse stuff with the Switch 2, because I know that one of the things that they said with Switch 2 is they can use the Switch 2 the Switch 2 Joy-Con as a mouse, but I don't even remember how many games they even actually use that for, outside of maybe Cyberpunk and the new Metroid game that came out. But yeah, I don't know. I think they could definitely figure out a way to make it work. Because yes, I know it would be hard, but like I would even take like just having like it all be on like joysticks and just having like controller inputs and stuff like that. Because at least then it would be something. Because like I know it'd go so hard if they ever did make it. Yeah, it wouldn't be as interactive, but it would still be fun. And I think that most people who are also fans of Mario Hoops 3 on 3, or just Mario Hoops in general, I can say in general, like there's more than one game, but people who are fans of Mario Hoops 3 on 3 are probably more or less inclined to be with me when they say like, yeah, you know, we still would want a new game, even if, you know, you can't do all the dribble inputs with the superstar pattern and all that stuff, and like dribbling and whatnot. Even if you can't do all that, it's still at least you're able to play a game that you never got to play. Well, you got to play back in 2006 with like DS graphics and all that stuff, but now you get to play it again in much higher, much higher graphics, much higher detail, much better everything. Granted, I know Nintendo recently has not been too super great on their remake games, and the Mario Sports games in general could have a whole different rabbit hole talked about them, because as we all know, Mario Sports games have always been released kind of incomplete. They'll release the game and it'll be like super bare bones, and then they'll slowly release out more courses or more characters, etc., and drip feeding the features alongside the development cycle until finally they're like, okay, now we're done. Instead of giving us the full game at the start, they'll give us half a game and then fill in the blanks as they go along.
Guys, it's me!
And it's honestly kind of the reason why I think a lot of the Mario Sports games have been kind of dying out super quickly, particularly Mario Golf and Mario Strikers Battle League. Those games suffer the most from it, but I think tennis is still going strong, because tennis, I guess, is the one that most people still like the most. I can't say for sure, because that's a whole, again, that's, you could ask a lot of people, but I feel like most people, when you ask them what their favorite Mario Sports game that they've ever played was, a lot of them will probably either say Super Sluggers or Mario Strikers, because those are the ones that I think I remember the most of back in the day whenever I owned it on my actual Wii and whatnot. Yeah, I really do feel like that they should just bring the series back. Give us another basketball game, and while we're at it, just give us another baseball game as well, because like I think that Mario Super Sluggers, that game was super good too. Like I honestly enjoyed Super Sluggers a lot as well, but I do obviously have a more soft spot for Hoops 3 on 3, because that's the one that I first played and that's the one that I loved the most. But I do know that they are making more of them, and they didn't forget about them, because Battle League does exist, so that's proof that maybe Hoops 3 on 3 and the Super Sluggers can also get the extra love that they need. Because I know that, I don't know what the popularity is amongst them, but I do know for certain that Super Sluggers is up there. Hoops 3 on 3 is definitely the niche, like black sheep amongst the Mario Sports games, but I definitely think it has enough room to shine and more than enough potential to be a great game if Nintendo actually tried. Because, you know, if you can bring Career Air Riders back from the dead, and you can bring Battle League back from the dead, or Strikers, I should say, back from the dead, then what's stopping you from doing that? Anyway, that's all I had to say. I just wanted to really talk about Mario Hoops 3 on 3, because I really just, I really love this game, like I do. I have a lot of old games that I love talking about, so if you guys want me to just, you know, show you guys more old games, or like either gameplay or just commentary like this, do let me know, because I do genuinely love making these videos. They're a lot of fun to do, a lot of fun to make, and I just cannot get enough of, you know, just talking about old games that I played back in the day. I may not be that old, but I still have a lot of nostalgia left in my head, so that's for sure. Anyway, let me know what you guys want me to see next. Please be sure to like and subscribe if you are new. It really helps me out and lets me know if this video is hot shit or hot garbage. Anyway, I'll see you all in the next one. Peace out.